I'm right-handed. And
So am I. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. Round 2. With it. We'll clink it again. Nice work. So, I'm Graham.
I'm Stephanie.
And we are the Freels. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or were we supposed to say that together? Or
1, 2, 3.
We are the Freels. Wow, we're not good at that at all.
We'll work on that. Anyways. Hold on.
What's this video about?
I think we should restart.
Yeah, probably.
Okay.
When do we restart? When do we restart? I don't know. I feel like there's some good content there.
Yeah.
What's the video about?
In this video,
there you go.
We are going to be talking about why we are starting the brand or whatever we want to call it.
Oh.
Don't use that word.
I don't like the word brand.
Okay. In this video / podcast, maybe, I think I might put it on the Spotify podcast.
Wow.
We're going to be talking about why we are starting We Are The Freels, right?
Yep.
And after editing the last video, I realized that I say, so, anyways, a lot. So I'm going to try to do a better job at not saying that every few minutes.
Should we start a tally? Just in case.
We'll do a little tally. I'm keeping track of that. But anyways.
That's an easy thing to do post-production, though.
Yeah. I'm going to try not to do that.
Okay.
Yeah. And anyways.
One. Don't make me laugh.
So we have 6 reasons why we're starting We Are The Freels, and only 6 reasons. Not one more, not one less. But I think before we get into that, Stephanie, how are you doing today?
I'm good.
What were the highs of today?
Whenever we can go to the NICU and hold the babies, it's always great. I slept really good last night.
I didn't, but
Well, you asked me what my highs were.
Sorry.
So
you're right. You're right. Who'd you get to hold today?
I held Adeline today.
She's pretty cute.
Yeah, well, they're all really cute, so.
But some are cuter than the others, right?
No, they're all adorable.
Sorry.
Even the nurses agree.
Who's your favorite?
All 5 of them.
Okay, nice. Good answer.
Yeah.
And Fisher is not our favorite son, right?
As of right now, he is.
He is?
Yeah, he's my only son.
We're just going ahead and giving him that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I am, at least.
I don't think he deserves that just because he's the only boy. I think he's got to work a little bit harder.
Well, we'll see how it goes when he gets older.
Yeah, maybe. I have this little notebook that I keep track of everything they do, even at this young of an age. And any little mishap, I'm just writing it down. So
Like how he stinks up the whole room.
He did. Fisher, I'll share this quick story, and then we'll hop into why we're starting with the Freels. So this video isn't 45 minutes long. I might cut this out.
We're already those parents talking about our children and the weird things they do.
How many times have you showed photos to random people?
I think you've shown more than
For
me.
sure.
Yeah. Most people I kind of know.
Quick story on Fisher, and then we're going to actually talk about the things we were supposed to talk about. So I had my hand over Adeline as she's going to sleep. She was in her little pod thing, and all of a sudden the nurse attending to Fisher goes, "Oh man, he smells bad." And then a nurse like 4 feet away. Did I already share this story in the last video?
I don't remember.
I think I did. We're gonna cut this, or that's it for the story, and we're gonna hop right into.
Anyways, his poop stinks really bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Fisher just keeps blowing it up, and.
But all of them do, really.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
man,
anyways,
kids, yeah.
The reasons why we're starting We Are The Freels.
So that's one of the reasons. Is no. Okay. We'll start off.
You know what we need to do is we need to have like an icebreaker question at the very beginning, like a funny one. But that'll be for next time.
Yeah, I can't be on the spot like that.
Yeah. I know. Okay.
I already asked you who your favorite kid was, and you didn't answer it. So.
I did.
Oh, all 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, 6 reasons why we are starting We Are The Freels. I'll start off with the first one. So we have a little teleprompter note here up front. And the first reason is because friends and family have asked for it.
Yeah, lots of people have asked.
Not really like, hey, can you start We Are The Freels? But they just...
Well, yeah. They came up with the title.
Yeah. So many people have just mentioned, like, when are you starting the YouTube channel? Or I think the joke is...
blogging and stuff.
I think the joke is the TLC show. Even just strangers will say, when are you starting the TLC show? And honestly, it looks like anyone who goes down that path doesn't end up all right.
Yeah.
So we're staying away from TLC. But yeah, I think honestly, if all that whoever watches these videos or listens to this is friends and family, it's just a really good way to share it to everyone and not have to follow up with everyone. Not that I'm being lazy, but it's just it's really hard.
There's a lot of people.
Yeah. And I
still have some unread text messages, so if you're one of those people, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Although I actually spent some time taking care of that earlier,
So yeah, I think that's the first reason. It's just a super easy way to share it with friends and family. So if you're a friend or a family member watching this
and have asked us about
or listening to this, you're welcome. No,
this is for you.
Obviously, we appreciate them though.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
So,
for sure. Is that on that first topic?
I think so.
Okay, second reason is kind of a way to document this for our 5 children.
Yeah.
And or maybe future children, who knows?
Or future children past the 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think as these kids get older, having this out there in the internet abyss that they can watch or listen to later will be kind of cool. They'll be able to see how their parents navigated through all this. And I think it'd be a really fun thing to share with them someday.
Especially us talking about them pooping all the time.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I feel like everyone has, everyone knows that they have home videos like stuck in the closet or the attic somewhere, but no one really knows how to get access to them. Or they've forgotten about them. The home videos are just going to be on the internet, and these kids will know exactly how to find them. So we're doing them a solid here.
There we go.
Yeah. So
they also live in a different time for sure. Because nowadays, little kids, their home videos are on their parents' cell phones.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, but.
And they still can't access them.
Yeah. Well.
Anyways, that's
hopefully this is easy for our kids to watch and enjoy. But yeah, that's number 2. Document it for our kids. And then I would say number 3 is to build our relationship. And when I say our, Stephanie and me. I think this is going to be a really good way for us to stay in contact with each other. Oh, man.
How you doing over there?
We'll share a very quick story. One of my best friend growing up, his mom, she's been really involved in all this from the start. And Miss Teresa, thank you if you're watching this. But she just said, Graham, I just think 6 months after you bring those kids home, you and Stephanie are just going to be both sitting far back on the couch, each holding a baby or two, and just kind of lean forward and be like, how you doing over there? Because you've kind of forgotten about each other. Check to make sure
they're still there.
Yeah, checking to make sure that your partner's still in this with you. So I don't know. I think it forces us to sit down, though, in all honesty, and talk about how we're doing. Obviously, it's a little different when the camera is filming you, so I don't think we'll have as candid conversations. When the camera turns off, we turn into different people, and we typically just fight it out. But
no, false.
No. But
don't give these people the wrong impression.
I do think it'll be fun just to make sure we sit down and talk it out with each other and see how we're doing. And it's just a fun project to work on with each other too. I think couples that actually create stuff together instead of always just consuming is a good thing. Yeah. And makes you creative, keeps you from being lazy. And I will say, I talk about it'll force us to...
I don't know if we're going to be able to ever be lazy with 5 kids.
This is true.
I think the 5 kids will force us to not be lazy.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
This is true. But I do think, and it's not always going to be just us talking to each other. soon enough, hopefully we'll be holding like 3 kids at one time. So that's
Or
just
all
how
5 at the same time.
all 5 at the same time. But
Can't
yeah,
wait for that moment.
point number 3, close it out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll help us grow as a couple. And a fun project to work on with each other.
Well, I also was thinking, like, you've always wanted to have a YouTube page and whatnot, too, so.
Yeah, maybe that should be, like, reason number 7.
No? Remember you said in the beginning of
Yeah.
the video?
I will
You
say,
said no more, no less.
my dream truly has always been to have some sort of YouTube channel. I like making videos. I haven't done it in a long time, but
I mean, even when we got these, you were like, check this out.
yeah. So nerding out a little bit. So anyways.
Oh, I was reading the prompt number 4 and I was really confused in the terminology. Is it reason number 4?
Sure.
Not point number 4.
While we're starting.
Is also just to give other parents in our situation hope. And that NICU life specifically is really tricky. And having a preemie is not, I don't want to say not always fun. I feel like we've been in a very different scenario, but it can be really hard, but it's doable, I would say.
Yeah. And I mean, not even just NICU though. Like, man, I think we'll talk more about our whole fertility journey.
There's a whole lot of things.
Yeah, there's so much there.
In everything, I
but
feel like.
It's crazy. Like the first appointment we ever had, the lady who worked with us, super nice lady, like has been a huge blessing in our life. She gave us like
a horror
story about someone
in her
family, who got pregnant with quintuplets, and it did not go well. I think like children died, and
I don't think.
Yeah, it didn't end well. I think it was a really sad situation. And so when we found out we were pregnant with quintuplets, that was the first thing I thought of. And then
first thing I thought of was I don't want to be on bed rest, and I hope that they're okay.
Yeah,
that was my first thought.
But yeah, if like you look at the risk and that's all you look at, it can be kind of a doom and gloom situation when you hear that you're pregnant with not just quintuplets. I think even quadruplets, and in some situations triplets. Too, yeah, just high order multiples.
Even some people with twins.
True.
So
I think it can be really scary when you hear that news, and you're, at least in our case, I don't know how it is for everyone in this situation, the first thing that you're told is your options, and options being selective reduction. And it just, that we knew that wasn't an option for us, but I would say it's scary being in that situation where you're like being told that, wouldn't you think? Like I just never, the journey of trying to get pregnant and have kids, never did I think would be tied with, hey, you should consider selectively reducing your children. And so, but when that's what medical people tell you, sometimes you're like, are we just going to have a horrible situation if we don't do that? Not that we were really questioning it, but those conversations play in your head, to say the least. So we knew we didn't want it. And so it took a lot of research. I think I was more the one who went down that path of research.
Yeah, that's because I was just sick.
Yeah, Stephanie was so sick. So
I had no energy to do anything. I just slept.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
So I think this point is a really big point of just, for me, when I went into the research mode of like, hey, how are we going to, I knew we were going to pursue doing our best shot at bringing these 5 kids to this world, but I didn't know how yet. And so it took a lot of research, and I actually found another family that had quintuplets.
We're really going deep into this point 4 here.
Well, I think this is an important one.
I just thought we were going to talk about it at another time.
No. Well.
Okay. It is really important. I agree.
Yeah. Anyways, I found a family, and they had quintuplets, and literally seeing their videos, and not just like the video of like, hey, we had quintuplets, but they had like a whole YouTube channel, and their kids were doing great several years later. That was the first moment for me where I really felt like, hey, we can do this. And that
was how we found our doctor.
And that is how we found our doctor as well. So I think if we can be that to another family, if that's all we accomplished in these videos, that would be, I would feel like we did something amazing and helped another family give their 5 children or their 4 children or even 6 and 7 children. Like, it's crazy what some of these people, the situations they end up in. If we can give them hope, that is awesome.
Yeah.
So that is point number 4. And all.
Oh, can I one more point on that? Point number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Also, just physically speaking, I'm not the ideal person to have quintuplets.
Yeah.
And I did it.
I 100%
I
agree.
like, and so like that in itself, like when I heard of other people that were like my stature or smaller, I'm only 5'2", and they had quadruplets or quintuplets.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, okay, that was like, I feel like that was like one of the things where I was like, okay, I can do this.
Yeah.
So anyways.
I agree completely. And it's funny Stephanie says that because the first phone call we had with Dr. Elliott, our doctor, he
That was
goes,
like the first question he asked me.
like one of the first questions is, Stephanie, how tall are you? And Stephanie goes,
I'm only 5'2".
and he's like, well, that's not good.
And then he said, is this your first pregnancy? I said, yes. And he's like, well, that's also not great.
Yeah. But still,
Yeah.
Stephanie did it. And honestly, like not my biggest prayer, one of my biggest prayers through like the entire pregnancy was like, God, I just pray like this pregnancy defies or doesn't make sense to like the medical community. And I thought that meant Stephanie
There was a lot of that phrase was, I feel like happened often, was that it doesn't make sense.
Just because in my hope that they'd be doing so well. And in my mind, that prayer meant Stephanie going to 34 weeks with no complications and these babies being big and not needing to stay in the NICU. But what's crazy is he still answered that prayer through a different way because they were born much earlier than 34. They were born at 27 weeks. But
they were still big.
And
they're still doing great.
Literally, like all the nurses and doctors are like, it doesn't make sense, like why they're doing so well at this age. Not that they haven't seen babies born this early, but they're doing just phenomenal.
And also because they're multiples. It's a lot.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen as often with multiples. So I would say.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Man, that's a long-winded point number 4, but yeah, God answered our prayer in a different way than we thought, and I think that's really cool.
Man, I feel like we're totally out of order now because I feel like point 6 needs to happen after that.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
Don't say it yet, but yeah, that kind of is.
I'm not going to.
That's very similar to point number 6.
Okay. Anyways.
So I'm point number 5. Okay, number 5. Full disclosure: why we're starting We Are The Freels is monetary reasons.
5 kids are expensive.
5 kids, which is hilarious because we don't know what like the cost of a kid actually is because these are our first kids. Like we're going from 0 to 5, so we don't really know what it's gonna be like.
We just hear everybody else talking about it.
People are like, how are you gonna afford it?
And then it's like
that is the.
And if you Google it and whatnot.
Yeah, I listened to a Dave Ramsey episode and it was like the average cost of a child over like from 0 to 18 years is like $750,000, and it's like, how does that even add up? We're gonna be cheap. We're going to make them start working at 8 years old and provide for themselves. So
except this kind of stuff will pay for some of this.
Yeah. Anyways, no.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I feel a little shallow in saying that monetary reasons are a part of why we're doing this, but let me explain that a little bit more.
Don't explain it to me, explain it to them.
This is a unique situation. And
is it?
Honestly, making the most money isn't what I think. I don't think that's the primary goal. Mm-hmm. I think the primary goal is how do I make enough to provide for our family and be in the home as much as possible so Stephanie is not by herself trying to take care of 5 kids. And this is an easy way to do that. This is like one of the easiest ways to do that is to document our journey and hopefully make money online through this. And so really, I would say the goal is really how do we make money and almost like build our own little home economy situation. And I don't really want to be out of the house that much. I want to be with my family and be with these kids and see them grow up, because I think a temptation could be, I need to go get just an awesome job, but if I'm out of the house 50, 60 hours a week, I'm actually doing a disservice to my family.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to be with Stephanie. I want to be with these kids. And this is going to take a village, but also it's going to take both Stephanie and I being home together.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to get through it together. And I think this is just going to help.
What's the calculation of how many hours you get until they're 18?
Oh, it's like 156,000 hours I think you get. So, yeah, I want to be there with my kids. That's like, yeah. Not going to cry. I think that's enough for number 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before you start crying.
But yeah, and then just as blunt as possible, we got to figure out a way to pay for all the we're going to go through, it's estimated, we're going to go through, I think it's like 15,000 to 20,000 diapers in our first year with these kiddos, which is just wild. So, and
that's probably not counting the diapers that they're going through right now, are they?
So Kirkland Signature, if you're seeing this video, we need a Kirkland Signature sponsorship of diapers for sure. Cool. That's good enough for number 5. And then Stephanie, what is our last reason for starting We Are The Freels?
But not least.
This is the most important one.
Most important.
This is by far the most important one.
And this is why I was saying it kind of tied into kind of towards the ending of number 4. Was because we just want to brag on God.
Brag on God.
How, he's even gotten us here.
Yeah.
And I already know that, like, where he's going to get us to. And it's pretty cool.
I feel like I could talk for 3 hours of just the things that God has done for us since finding we were pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's only, a short period of time. It's only 30 weeks. So
many things fell into place perfectly. Mm-hmm. And it'd be so easy just to be like, man, how lucky. It's like, it's not luck. It's God.
Yeah. And that's just like just the pregnancy. That's not even like before getting pregnant and even like our relationship and whatnot, and just kind of the entire journey
of getting pregnant.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things that stands out when I think about this is, like, very soon after finding we were pregnant with quintuplets, you were like, there's a reason God gave me 5 kids. And that's kind of what we needed to hear, what I needed to hear, for sure. Just things like, for those that know me and know us, we tried renovating an Airstream. Didn't really go so well.
We tried renovating 4 Airstreams.
We tried. At one time we owned 4 Airstreams, but that's for another episode. But our Airstream sold, like, no issue.
So quick.
And the couple who bought it are awesome. And they're
they've been keeping us updated, and they're naming it Quincy.
Yeah, they're naming it Quincy.
That's cute.
So Amy and Ben, if you're listening to this, watching this.
Shout out
to y'all.
When it's finished, you guys need to go rent it out because they're going to...
Yeah.
Are they doing Airbnb with it? Is that?
I think so.
So
that sold. We started a carpet cleaning business in Bellingham this past year, and I was worried about investing all this money into that and having to leave it, and we were able to sell that business. And it's also cool, the people that bought it, they're doing exactly like what I wanted to do with it, in a sense of, like, the reason I started it was I wanted to provide for my family. I wanted to start a business that takes care of a family.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing with it. It's like, it's not us anymore, but I think they're going to build it in something awesome. Yeah. And make an impact in Whatcom County through the simple act of...
a family that has 1 kid at a time, maybe.
Yeah. But bragging on God. And then I would just say, financially, he's provided for us. This kind of goes back to, like, getting hope through other people's stories. Our second week we were here, we went to a church, and this church was like right next to where we live. I was just running. I was like, we should try out church there.
Hold on, can we talk about how the week before we tried a different church?
We tried a different church the week before, and there was nobody there.
There were like 10 cars in the parking lot. I was like,
I think the pastor was a little confused as to why we were there. And he came up to us afterwards. He's like, guys, I'm happy you're here, but we're closing down. And
Which is really sad. We shouldn't be laughing about this.
Yeah.
But part of that led us to go.
So the next week we tried at a new church, and we get there, and someone sees Stephanie, and she's like, when are you due? And then it just opens up a can of worms of pregnant with
Pregnant with
quintuplets. And she goes, have you met the quadruplet family? And we're like,
I'm sorry, what?
what? And she's like, you guys have to go to the doctor they went to. And I was like, oh, I'm sure it was Dr. Elliott. And she's like, yeah. I was like, that's why we moved down here. And sure enough, there's a family that just had quadruplets in November of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
So they're still young. They're doing great. And just like the YouTube family, I kind of gave me hope. This is like the first time visually seeing in the flesh, like hope of being able to do this. And that, though mom is shorter than Stephanie, which is hilarious.
Because I'm only 5'2".
Yeah.
She's only 5 foot.
And anyways, they're an awesome family. And
I just remember that first Sunday, and like, so they don't carry all of their babies in. They like hand them off to other people, and so all of a sudden we're sitting there, we're just not even paying attention to the service, and we're like looking around, and then all of a sudden you see a random person walking with a baby. I was like, I think they're here.
Yeah.
And then
the babies just get not tossed, but handed out to different people in the church body. So we're taking notes, and New Song, back home, we'll just be handing out babies.
We're going to park the van right out front, and we're going to have an assembly line. And people are going to take the car seats and take a baby.
So, man, anyways, long-winded here. But all that to say, it's like God has just done so many amazing things through this. Like, it wasn't a coincidence we met that family. It was God connecting the dots and giving us hope, and even giving this family an opportunity giving us friends. But like the Munsell family, I feel like they've loved having us in their lives too, because they've been able to pour into us. So it's just really cool. And
also that was the first time that because when you're pregnant, you like can talk to other pregnant people, but like when you're pregnant with multiples, there's not very many people that you can talk to about that and how the whole process is. And so it was really cool to like talk to her and be like, wow, you're experiencing the same things that I'm experiencing, and like just like very different. And that was like the first time that I had experienced that. So that was really cool.
And it's been crazy to like pray for things and them happen. Like, I feel like the church environment I grew up in, I don't know, fervent prayer, is that the right word? Like deep prayer?
Almost sounds right. But
Yeah, almost. I might be wrong.
Also sounds weird for some reason.
Wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think I really experienced that until we started going to New Song back home. And, one of the things I remember specifically praying for, we were going in for an anatomy scan, I think. Oh, I'll say this actually, man, guys, we're going to get better at keeping our train of thought down.
But again, brag on God. I mean, we could talk about this
for
hours.
Yeah, we could talk about this for hours.
Really,
so
it's kind of tricky.
Yeah. First off, I would say our very first appointment here in Phoenix, we go in and one of our babies has this thing called a cystic hygroma. And Dr. Elliott says, so baby B has what's called a cystic hygroma. He says, don't look it up on Google because you'll freak yourself out.
And sure enough, Graham looked it up on Google.
First thing I do, like when I get out of there, is look it up on Google. And it's sad. And even Dr. Elliott, he's like, you can do like genetic testing and all this stuff. And we're like, nope.
There's like risk for that.
We're not going to do that. And so we prayed for it. We like told everyone that we knew were praying for us that baby B, which I think we knew at the time was a girl, about the cystic hygroma. And the next appointment, gone.
Yeah, 4 weeks later.
Completely gone. And so that's why we called baby B Eliana, which means God has answered.
We think it's the same baby.
Yeah, we honestly could be out of order,
it could be
but
Linnea, actually.
we're running with that story. But and then I would say another massive prayer that came true was we were going in for, I think it was the anatomy scan, and if you look up like average weights of babies at a certain age,
anatomy scan was at 20 weeks.
Yeah, so
it was 20 weeks. I think technically mine was like 21 weeks.
Anyways, it would have been absolutely ridiculous to have a 1 pound baby already.
Especially with multiples.
But even just normal
average
pregnancy.
Baby. Yeah.
And the reason we want big babies so early on is because we know they're going to be premature. The bigger the babies are, the better chance they have at surviving, but also having normal lives. And so I just remember like we started praying like, God, it does not make sense like for one of these babies to be a pound, but like we pray and ask that it would happen. And first 4 weren't a pound. They were really good weights though for their age. They were above the average, and it's not like we were like sad. And then baby E Harper was a freaking pound. Like, and I remember just like being like, this is insane. And we came home that night, and I told Seth, I said, if I ever doubt that God is real, don't let me forget this day. And it's true. Like, you could go on and on about like what fertility is and how babies are created, and to not at least question if there's a God. Or maybe a better way to phrase that is like, look at fertility. Look how much design is in fertility and what goes on. And for me, I can't process it, and I can't honestly analyze it without thinking that there's a God, that there's a creator at hand. And then, so that's just fertility in general.
Yeah.
And then I just think about how God has been with us through this entire process and how he's taken care of us. And it's like, and we're just getting started. Like, I feel like we're going to experience God's goodness so much more through these next few months, through this next year, and through the rest of the life that we're given. And yeah, so try to like wrap this up as much as I can. But basically,
Why'd you say that?
sorry.
Don't make me
I'm
laugh,
trying to
it
be serious
hurts.
here. We truthfully, like, our hope is that our story brings other people to have faith in God. Like,
Point blank.
we got married and married as Christians, and I think like got married with good intentions of our, like building our faith. And honestly, our first few years of marriage were pretty rough and tough.
Rough and tough.
Rough and tough. Not because of Stephanie, because of me. I was really doubting my faith for a long time and struggling. And I'm just like, I don't really have any doubts anymore. I think God will bring storms and frustrations, but like to me,
And questions.
and questions. And questioning is not bad. That's questioning my faith is what led me to have a better relationship with God in the long run. All that to say, if our story not only saves babies' lives or gives parents hope of pursuing their pregnancies, if it can help bring people to God and have faith and trust in Him, that would be like our dream, I would say. And so, yeah, number 6, bragging on God. That is by far our biggest reason for doing this. Yeah.
And again, we just talk about it all day, all the time.
All day long.
Because, like, ultimately, like, I don't know, that is just like this huge umbrella over all the other reasons, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, we talked a lot more about that than I thought.
Yeah, I'm opening up a can
So
of
many
worms
more
here. And I just
details.
think we live in a world where, like, there's a lot going on right now. And I think people now more than ever are just searching. And I think, goodness, excuse me. I think meeting people where they are to share your faith is cool. And I think like sometimes that's through YouTube. It's not always through a church. Obviously, church is the best place to be. But it's cool that the good news can be shared anywhere. So yeah, that's number 6. So I'll recap the 6 reasons why we're starting We Are The Freels real quick.
But
just the points.
Yes.
Just the bullet points, guys.
don't need to go through it again.
We're almost done. We're almost through this.
Only teared up a little bit.
Huh?
Only teared up a little bit.
Only teared up a little bit. All right. First reason, friends and family have asked. Here you go, guys. It's out here. Number 2, we want to document this for our kids. Like, I think it'd be cool. Just watch as a family.
Hey, remember just the points.
Yeah, bullet points. Document for
But
the
yes,
kids.
it'd be cool.
3, build our relationship. What's up, babe? Love you, girl.
That was the weirdest fist bump ever. You like extended your fingers.
Bullet point stuff.
I wasn't building off of the point.
Okay, number 4, give other parents in our situation hope.
Number 5.
Yeah. Number 5, make that money and spend more time at home.
That is part of the bullet point.
Yeah. And number 6, most importantly, brag on God. Yeah. Anything you like to share? Close us out. What's one more fun story we can share with people?
Like specifically.
Yeah, about the babies.
I want the babies.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I got a good one.
I think I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
So there are 9 pods in the NICU.
I knew exactly because that's what I was thinking.
There are
too.
9 pods in the NICU.
Which is basically like a room.
A room. And each pod holds 4 babies. We have 5 babies. Except pod number 5 holds 5 babies.
Which is ironic. It's 5.
Yeah, that is kind of ironic. Whoa. Anyways, pod number 5 is typically used for what they call small babies. And these are babies who are struggling even more than your standard NICU baby. Mm-hmm. And so we've only had one baby in there, Eliana. She's not in there because she's struggling any more than the others, but because we have 4 babies in pod number 6 and 5 is the closest to that pod. I think that's why they did that. We found out today that because there's not as many babies in the NICU right now, they're able to move some things around.
And the other babies that are in that room
in pod number 5
are getting bigger.
They're getting bigger and healthier. So the next time we go to the NICU, hopefully, we are told all of our babies might be in the same pod together, which would be pretty epic because in all honesty, I
feel so bad.
It has been weird. Like we feel like we don't give Eliana as much attention.
Yeah.
And we probably do. We just subconsciously think.
And it's not like she actually knows, but I feel like she does.
So it will just be amazing if we can all be in there.
Yeah,
we're super excited about that, and we'll keep you guys posted. Today's Saturday. We will film again tomorrow, just a recap of the week, and hopefully we'll be able to talk about that some more. So yeah, we're starting. We're the Freels. We would love y'all's support. It would mean the world to us. Hit that subscribe, y'all.
If you don't
comment below.
If you don't have notifications,
like it. Hit those notifications. We'll have 5-7 more videos around here. No, but honestly, I think it does help if you do subscribe. And if you want to hit that little thumbs up, I think that would help us out. And hopefully I figure out the whole podcasting. I think it's pretty easy. So
I feel like it would be, but I don't know.
Wow. Again, this is long. If you've
stuck with us, thank you.
Yeah, y'all are troopers. We love y'all. And we will talk to you later.
See you next time.
We need like a good out.
I know.
Toodles.
Out.
Bye-bye.